ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and lovers of drones everywhere. Welcome to Thursday Night Live. Do the stir. Stir that pot. Stir the cauldron. Stir the cauldron. It's Halloween time. Stir the cauldron. Dana Williams are like, yeah, welcome to the show, everyone. It would seem, just from the speed of the chat, that we have a few new viewers to the stream. Thank you so much for trying us out. Oh my goodness. Look what I Am Wedge just did.
Oh man.
Dude. Thank you so much. $100 super chat. The Vapors. Elizabeth, this is the big one. I'm coming, baby. Elizabeth.
He does not need to do that. He's got much more problems.
Oh my goodness. I Am Wedge. Thank you so much. You know what I'm going to do with that? I'm going to save that and give it to one of our other viewers that really needs it right now. I'll tell you about Phantom Panic and what happened to him in a little bit. On the show today, of course, Mr. Steele. He's a big race drone guy, and maybe some of his race drone magic can rub off on the rest of us. Dana, how are you doing, man?
I am groovy, man. I am having a wonderful week. Been home, and I got to go down to Texas for Saturday night, but I'm here now, and I'm ready to drone, baby.
Okay.
Come on, weather. Come on, weather.
And for those who don't know, in case you're new to the show, Dana Williams is the bass player for the country band Diamond Rio. And so
Diamond Rio.
Very often he's out on the road doing things. But thank you for coming down out of the country clouds and hanging out with us today.
Country clouds.
The country clouds. We'll get to the news. But first, it is the Cadillac of processed meats. It's our very and only sponsor, Pigeon Jerky, everybody. Enjoy. Yeah.
Anytime.
Pigeon Jerky, the Cadillac of processed meats. You'll enjoy Pigeon Jerky, Pigeon Jerky, and you'll give your family a treat.
Yeah.
It's balanced nutrition to help them grow, and it's full of fiber to make them go.
Here we go.
You'll enjoy Pigeon Jerky,
Pigeon Jerky, the Cadillac of processed meats. Yeah.
Yeah.
Woo! Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. So we got another super chat from 400 AGL. Thank you so much for that. What did he say? I missed it. This chat's going. It says we love you, Ken.
He can't do the C note.
Oh, no, yeah. Thank you. I Am Wedge and 400 AGL and everybody in the super chat. If you super chat just $10, you can get some of these fantastic eyeballs for your drone, proven to keep all the birdies away. But now it's time to go to the newsroom.
Stop the music. It's time for news.
Ladies and gentlemen, all the news that you'd ever want to know about drones. It's Jeff Sills in the newsroom. What's happening, sir?
I got good stuff for you guys.
What do you got?
We'll start off with our favorite Skydio R1 drone, that amazing drone that can fly by itself and zip through things without crashing into stuff.
Oh, so amazing.
Yeah, when they first came out, it was almost impossible to get them, but now they're going to be available at the Apple Store.
Is that right?
And Skydio has apparently also added a special feature. They've introduced an Apple Watch app that allows you to control the drone from your wrist.
Okay, so it'll do like a follow me thing?
Actually, it has a lot of the different features, flyaway mode, a bunch of different things programmed into the watch that lets you do stuff. So
you can spy on your kids?
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is remember, it was almost impossible to get this drone. And now that they've gotten the production up, we're going to start seeing more of them in the market. And hopefully, as they increase, we'll see the prices drop even lower.
That's awesome. That looks like a fun drone.
Yeah, I'm impressed with it. I think it's a great drone. So the next article that we have is what in the world? The New Zealand drone company has offered their assistance to the I guess the groups in Africa that are trying to prevent African rhinos from being hunted.
Oh yes.
More than 7,000 African rhinos have been poached over the past 10 years. But while it's a problem nearly 12,000 kilometres away, the solution may be right here in New Zealand.
They've got ground troops, they've got vehicles, they've got dogs, and now they've got this drone that enables them to see from the sky.
Raglan-based company Heron has developed an anti-poaching eye in the sky, a heavy-duty drone with an 8-kilometre range and a built-in heat-sensing camera.
There's a pilot with a base station, and they got the screen, and from the screen they can, essentially scout the whole area.
The drone monitors the movements of rhinos and poachers and assists patrol teams, particularly after dark.
Like they can't see a thing really at night, obviously, because it's dark, and switch on an infrared camera or a heat sensing camera and suddenly you can see.
And just like a car alarm, it's hoped that even the drone's presence will act as a deterrent.
Cool, man. I love positive stories about drones.
That's
Well-
almost 5 miles that thing will go.
Yeah,
8
that's
kilometers. That's almost 5 miles. Wow.
It's an impressive drone. I'm looking forward to seeing it used more. Speaking of deterrents, Ken, you keep talking about the eyes that you offer.
Right.
So just to let you feel a little bit more special, some French scientists working with the Airbus Corporation applied their knowledge to avian physiology and applied it to the problem of birds in airports. And they came up with an optical illusion that effectively dissuades birds from loitering around airports.
Yeah.
It looks really similar to something we know.
Look at those eyeballs, man. I'm looking at you, buddy. Don't fly near these planes. I'm looking at you. Oh,
So
wow.
this is scientific evidence that your bird's eyes will dissuade birds from flying near drones and airports.
That said, would you like to buy some eyeballs for your drone? They're available right now. All you have to do is do a $10 super chat. Or send me a PayPal
Nice
at
transition, man.
Heron upload at gmail.com. You can PayPal there. Make sure you put a message in there so that I'll know that you want the eyeballs. Available in chocolate and vanilla in Mavic and Phantom sizes. Now back to you in the newsroom.
This shameless plug brought to you by the news.
Shameless.
And we do have some satisfied customers. We've got Skyview Media there, with his eyeballs right there. Get some eyeballs. We got Andy B that puts the eyeballs on his Phantom. This is what it looks like, huh? And even the drone trucker. The eyeballs looking skyward. Ever vigilant of keeping the birds away. It really does help. I've been in some situations where the birds are close by. And the eyeballs do work. In fact, if you put eyeballs on your drone and a bird brings it down, Jeff Sills will buy you a new one.
No, don't you do that.
I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, what?
No. Stop.
I'm sorry, what was
Break
that?
it down.
I said, what?
Ken will send you a new set of eyes.
I've got a little bit of video here from, let's see. This is from Bob McCartney. And he flew his drone without eyeballs. And this is what happened when he tried to fly across a bridge. Wait, no, that's not it. Stand by. Let me get the. Where's it?
Stand by.
Right there. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Stand by.
Here it is. It was a beautiful, beautiful bridge. And this, like I said, it's from Bob McCartney. And when he went to go across the bridge here, oh God, no, it's birds! Oh God! Yeah. So, that said, once again, if you would like to buy some eyeballs, all right. Yeah.
All right. So moving
I'm sorry,
on with
Jeff.
the news that
I'm sorry, Jeff.
DJI
I'm sorry,
has
Jeff.
introduced
Jeff.
What?
What was the word again?
The word?
Oh, well, everybody's heard about the bird. Bird. Bird's a word. Oh, well, a bird. Bird is a word. Oh, well, a bird. Well, a bird is a word. Oh, well, a bird.
Now back to you in the newsroom.
Yeah, I keep walking into these things. DJI introduced a new drone, the Phantom 4 RTK.
Oh, yeah.
Which is a commercial grade drone that they've brought to market. They introduced it at the European Drone Summit on October 15th. This is an amazing drone.
Yeah, it looks like a regular Phantom 4 with a goiter.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right? Looks like you glued a Dixie cup on the top.
Yeah.
But what it does is it gives you pinpoint accuracy.
Man.
And surveyors are using these things. Look at that thing. The DJI Goiter. Do you think anybody who's not a surveyor would buy one of these? What would be a practical application for anyone other than a surveyor, you think?
I think you see it used in the agricultural market if you wanted to do, you know, I guess detailed mapping of like the fields and such.
That's true. That's true. How much is that?
Two things that I heard them in their advertisement. That's the two things that they mentioned was agriculture and surveying.
And how much is that puppy?
You know what? I don't see a price listed here.
Okay.
No, there's $6,598.
What's the next news item?
The Lodi police have identified that a drone assisted them in catching a couple of robbery suspects lately.
Oh, yes.
Police used a high-tech tool to nab two suspected robbers. They say a drone helped find the suspects. So this happened around 1:15 yesterday afternoon on Cattleman Lane in Lodi. Police say the suspects, who have been identified as Elisa Ornelius and Jesus Mejia, stole two duffel bags from a business and then tried to hide under a tarp in the backyard of a home. That's when the drone was put up in the sky and then tracked them down. Both were taken into custody, but no word on what was found inside of those duffel bags.
Again, thank goodness criminals are, for the most part, stupid.
Yes.
You know? Let's hide under this tarp. I mean...
Don't you just love it when drones come to the rescue one more time?
Oh, yeah.
God, I love it.
Yep. And I actually have the final news story. You want to talk a little bit about the hurricane, Jeff?
Well, I mean, we have seen a lot of videos come out for the Hurricane Michael. The damage that it has done is to the Florida Panhandle and the surrounding areas has just been incredible. And so we had some new video footage that came out here recently. I knew you wanted to tie in with.
Yes, this is damage in Mexico Beach, Florida from Hurricane Michael, and I actually got an email from our buddy Phantom Panic. You know Phantom Panic. You probably recognize his little thing here from being the first to comment on most of my videos. And in case you're curious, this is what he looks like. He's the one on the right. And that is Phantom Panic. And he sent an email. Hey, Ken, Phantom Panic here. I live in Panama City and my town is just devastated. It will never be the same. I lost my house and pretty much everything I own. Just finally got some internet, but it's spotty. He goes on to say it was right about a Category 5 hurricane and the eye went right through my town. I was in a house in Lynn Haven at the time and I was all hunkered down under a desk, scared to death knowing I was a goner, but I am here alive and so are my family members. And that's what really matters. Sorry for missing your live show.
Yeah.
Wow. He lost everything, devastation all around him, and he still took the time to write us an email. He goes on to say, anyway, I don't like to ask for money or donations, but if anyone would like to donate some money for me and my family and friends, it would really help out a lot right now. I have no way to get cash as there is no power, but if anyone would like to donate, they can do it right here. This is his email, and it would be really appreciated. Can't wait to get back to normal and enjoy your live show and video uploads. Love you, man. Sincerely, Lonnie, a.k.a. Phantom Panic. Now, the $100 super chat from I Am Wedge earlier, I'm sure he won't mind if I just go ahead and give that right to Lonnie and his family members. And again, if you would like to donate, just go ahead and PayPal something, $1, $2, whatever, to this right here. And
please put that link in the description tonight.
It is. It's in there.
Is it already there? Okay,
yeah, I believe it. I think it is. But yeah, man. I mean, that's some pretty bad stuff that's happening. You know, it didn't affect you directly, but I'm sure you know somebody who it has affected. And I did speak to him on the phone briefly, and I'm getting choked up thinking about it. He lost everything he owned, and when I was talking with him, he was out there helping people get unburied and being very selfless. Super guy, Phantom Panic Lonnie. Thank you so much for contacting us.
Yeah, I mean, every single time we get ready for this show, we always sit there and comment on the fact that the minute that the clock starts, the first person that's always on the top of the list is Phantom Panic.
Yeah. So once again, if you missed it, there it is. If you want to help him out, you can do it. PayPal. All right. Very good. Thank you so much, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.
I'm going to have to say buh and to the bye to you. Coming up in about 15 minutes will be Mr. Steele. Mr. Steele. Dana, are you familiar with Mr. Steele?
I don't believe I am, no.
Well, this is what he looks like. Right, that's him right there. He is a big deal in the race drone community.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a little one of his videos right now. This is the video that really, it's so impressive what he can do with a race drone, and it's the kind of thing that you look at and you're like, that just looks fun. I want to be able to do that, but it takes years of practice and practice and practice to get it right.
And crashing and crashing and crashing.
Yeah. Something that a lot of people may not realize, and in fact, I didn't. You know, we're for the most part, I think people that are watching this channel are photography drone people. Would you agree, Dana?
Absolutely.
But you know, drones are drones. It's like Harley Davidsons and street bikes. You know, they're two different worlds, but they're still motorcycles, and that's the way it is with race drones and photography drones. But one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that these race drone guys, they're building their drones from scratch. This is not a kit that you can go out to Walmart and get with a controller. No, I mean, motors, ESC, controllers, propellers, everything. They build it from the frame up.
Got to put a camera on it. They don't come with cameras.
Oh no,
you know?
no. It's a very intricate and mechanical world. But once you get it together, man, and you get a little bit of talent behind the sticks, then you can come up with stuff like this. This is from Mr. Steele's channel trailer, the kind of thing that he does. There's a link, of course, in the description to both his channel and his business. He's got a business called Ethics. We'll talk to him about that later. I think this is the Great Wall of China.
Man, how'd he pull that off, man?
Yeah, can you imagine like being a guy who can just travel around the world and fly around the coolest places? You can't just climb up on a plane. You gotta ask people, hey, can I climb up on your plane and fly a race drone around?
At the airport?
Yeah, right? Beautiful stuff. I'm just gonna let this roll because it's just mesmerizing.
Yeah, you can't. Oh my goodness, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah. The first video I saw from Mr. Steele was when he was building surfing. This is Chernobyl.
Well, that's how you do a building.
A radioactive building. Wow. Imagine the trust from the owners of the cars and the buildings and everybody where he's flown. Look at that.
Yeah!
Gosh.
There's my airplanes. I love that.
You love the stunt planes?
I love planes, man.
Gosh, man. So we'll talk to Mr. Steele later on.
Man. Dude's talented, man.
Very, very talented. And of course,
that's just crazy.
His trademark mustache. And I thought that you and I, he's going to be on about 10 minutes. He's probably watching right now. And just to get ready, to get everybody in the mood, I thought I'd have a little fun here. Let me go ahead and make my, let's make Dana large here. And then we'll just, there you go. Line yourself up, man. Line yourself up with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Ah! Are you feeling like an FPV pilot now? You fly a race drone?
I don't think so.
Twirl it. See if you can twirl it a little bit. There you go. Now do an evil laugh. That's very 19th century of you.
Why,
yeah. And let's see if I got mine lined up. It looks good on me, doesn't it? Hold on a second. It's not quite right. Hold on.
It's such a contrast.
It is. Maybe I can.
Hair is such a contrast.
Yeah, maybe I can fix it. There we go. That's a little bit better.
Oh, that's way better.
Now it matches. Ha ha! Ha ha ha!
Boy, that's hard on you to have to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. See, you know, unfortunately, the way my hair has done itself, it's lighter in the front than it is in the back. Back camera. There. See? Back here, it's kind of dark. I wish it was going the other way, you know? By the way, this is my setup right here. This is all my... Yeah. So anyway, that was fun. Dana, I think your microphone's a little low. I think it is.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that.
Oh, no, you just needed to get near it.
Yeah, probably just not.
All right, I want to share a couple videos before we get to Mr. Steele.
Hey, man, there's something in the chat here that I think we ought to address here.
What is it? What is it? Did I miss on something?
From a fellow by the name of Your Average Dad.
Yeah.
And he says, after watching Thursday Night Live for 10 weeks now, I thought it'd be easy to become part of this community. But it's not.
Oh, no.
I don't understand.
Why?
What do I have to do? Thanks for the show, Ken.
What's the problem?
Well, that's my question. I mean, Average Dad, if you're here, you're part of the community, and man, any participation, you want to be in the chat, anything like that. Hey, man, we are more than welcoming you in every way.
Absolutely. You don't even need to have a drone, man. You just hang out, and you are part of the community.
We're just happy that you are here, and if you're here, and it sounds like you've been here for 10 weeks, obviously you're enjoying something, and man, I just can't tell you how much we appreciate that. And
what's his name? What's his name again?
It just says Your Average Dad.
Your Average Dad?
Yeah.
I want to let you know, Your Average Dad, I want to let you know that you are loved. We love you. I mean that. I know we just met. But just know that you are
10 weeks ago.
You have fallen into the loving open arms of the drone community. This live stream is where we all meet and gather around the hearth of the internet. It's like people used to gather around the radio back in the day. Yes! What's his name again?
Your Average Dad.
Your Average Dad, we love you. I mean it from the bottom of my toes to the tippy top of my gray but fabulous hair. We care about you. We welcome you. You just sit back and enjoy the warmth, the love, the caring of the droning community. And remember, whenever I say the name, what was the name again?
Your Average Dad.
Your Average Guy. Just know that a little piece of me goes with you. Thank you.
And the next tattoo that Ken gets is going to put Your Average Dad on.
Yep, right over there.
Yepper.
Or maybe over there next to the ex-girlfriend's
maybe
there.
over there.
Yeah.
Or maybe down there. Or
hey, here's something interesting. I got an email from Mike Hand, and he says, "Hey Ken, just thought you would like to see a VIP movement no-fly zone. This is 75 miles wide, all around Robins Air Force Base in Georgia." There it is. You can, right there. You can see it right there. Yep. This is the AirMap app, by the way. There's a link in the description. President Trump is landing here at 4 o'clock. This one is normal, blue, without the red. And then this one here is the whole no-fly zone. Crazy. I've never seen a no-fly zone this big. Take care of my hand. That is a large no-fly zone.
You ain't kidding, man. That's almost the state.
Yeah, they want to make sure nobody's going to drone on in and say hi to
be jacking
President
around
Trump.
the prez, man.
Right.
Wow.
Just about 5 minutes till Mr. Steele comes on. We are ready for him. Yeah. Let's see if I can put a mustache on Miss. No, I couldn't do it. Okay. So one more time. There we go. There we go. Okay. All right. You ready, Dana?
Yeah.
You ready for yours?
I got it.
Okay, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, don't do it too high because then it looks like eyebrows. You'll be burning it. Yeah. All right, I got a video I want to share here. This is from Thomas. Thomas says, "Hey Ken, it's Thomas from Canada. Last week after your show, I decided to send you a video of Quebec's colored trees during the fall. And don't we just love the fall foliage, fellers? Thinking maybe you would like to broadcast it during your show. Friday I was off and it was a nice sunny day. I decided to make the video with my Phantom 4 Advanced. After 2 minutes and 38 seconds of flight, my drone made a flyaway.
Oh.
Never to be seen again." But he has the video, and it's beautiful. And we got $20 super chat from Jeff. Ain't got much, but please give this to Phantom Panic. Yes, we will absolutely do that.
There was another $10 chat earlier for
there
Phantom
was?
Panic.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah, I saw that. Go
All
by.
right. So let me see if I can find this video. Where is it? It's not that. Okay, here it is. This is in Quebec. This is Thomas's last video. And I guess it's...
Makes me sad. Look at the colors, man. They're already there.
I know, and he couldn't find it. He said he went and looked for it. He couldn't find the drone. Beautiful. Are the trees changing color around Nashville area where you are?
They haven't started yet that I've seen.
Look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
That's what we ought to do, man. Go do some of the colors. Remember we did that out at that park at, what was that? Big lake
Oh,
or
yeah.
falls,
something
whatever.
falls. Yeah. It was
something falls.
Something falls. Oh, yeah, that's right. And the falls were gone. They had a drought,
Yeah.
and the falls for which the park was named after weren't falling at all.
Remember we finally got that girl that was hanging off the edge of that cliff or whatever.
Yeah.
Bless her heart.
People are sitting on the edge of cliffs.
Yeah.
To be young. To be young.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sorry,
Young
Thomas.
or old, you don't bounce any different.
No.
I can tell you that.
Thomas, I'm sorry you lost your drone, but thanks for sharing the footage. We really do appreciate it.
Man, I am so sorry.
And now I guess it's time. Let's go ahead and see if I can't blow up Wirecast by bringing in another person here.
When the fun starts right here, my friend.
See, we can't get Mr. Steele. Oh, your average dad, $10 super chat. Thanks, Ken and Dana and everyone. Send mine to the guy in Florida. Thanks, everyone.
Hey, man, that's awful nice there.
That is super, very super nice. All right. Let's see if we
had
can...
another $5 one that came by for Phantom Panic also.
Oh, okay. All right.
I think they said that the link for Phantom Panic is not in the description.
Oh, it isn't. All right. Well, I will put it in there. But right now, with any luck, ladies and gentlemen.
Nope.
Mr.
Yes.
Steele.
Nope.
Mr. Steele, hey!
There he is, man.
Welcome,
Super dark.
sir.
Holy crap.
All right. Hey, thanks for taking time to be on with us, man.
How's it going? What are you guys What are you guys up to? You've been chatting.
Oh, we're just chit-chatting, you know, talking about this and that. What's new with you?
Blocking the sun from hitting my eyes in my house.
Okay. Where are you located?
I'm in Atlanta, about 45 minutes north of the city, actually. Not technically Atlanta, and Buford, Georgia would be the technical area.
Okay. Very good. Well,
Okay, man. So, how did you fly? How did you get to fly at the airport?
oh yeah.
We got to know that right out.
What airport? I've flown at many airports.
See, or let's just pick one and tell us.
Yeah, how do you go about doing that?
Well, I mean, it just depends. It depends on the airport. If you're talking about Hartsfield Jackson, I've flown inside Hartsfield-Jackson, which technically isn't navigable airspace by, the FAA standards. So, I flew inside the train inside Hartsfield-Jackson Airport to test the theory of whether or not if you're in a moving vehicle and there's no wind, if you were to hover, would the drone stay still if the train moves, or would it follow the train as if it were moving with the train?
And the results?
Well, what do you guys think happened?
I think it just stayed with the train.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to stay with whatever mass of air it's in, right?
So you think when the train moved, the drone moved with the train as if...
I think it just sat
Yes.
still where you had it.
No, I think it went with the train.
You're just... All right. Anyway,
Yeah.
basically it just stayed in one spot, and the train moved, and we had to adjust to
really?
keep up with the train. Yeah.
That's crazy. I did the same experiment with a U-Haul van.
And it didn't do the same thing?
I had different results, but I wasn't using we're using a race quad.
Yeah.
And by the way, just for us photography dudes, is it race drone or race quad? What do you call them?
I don't even know anymore.
You just call them
I just call it an FPV, quad, or drone. I actually just refer to...
Uh-oh. Oh, no.
We're trying to teach people a correct term.
Yeah.
So I just say drone. They're like, what do you got there? Oh, it's a drone.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I have many questions, and I also have a guy that is going to want to talk to you here in a minute that knows a little...
My hair all pretty for that guy.
Look at that. Dana, is his hair better than mine? I mean, it's darker, but is it better? I pride myself on my hair.
I got some grays going on.
Yeah. How old of a guy are you?
I'm 45.
Are you really 45?
No, I'm 28.
Okay, all right. I would have believed it and then asked you what supplements you're using. So you got your start. How long have you been doing this? Since you were a kid, or how does a Mr. Steele come about?
Just a trifecta of just coincidence. I don't even know how to explain it. I didn't do anything with drones or RC until about 2014. Well, flight. Everyone's had an RC car before.
Right.
But, I never thought I could afford RC flight. And when I was I guess 23 at the time, I had broken up with a chick, and I was thinking about joining the military to become a helicopter pilot. And when I was filling out all the paperwork, I basically just, decided I'm going to hold off till after the holidays, and I got a toy helicopter for Christmas, and that sparked my interest into toy helicopters. And then I got into collective pitch helicopter flight, and January of that next year, which literally I got that helicopter for Christmas. So within a month I had an Align 450 and built that and flew that collective pitch helicopters, and then went to get hobby parts from Atlanta Hobby, which is like our local hobby shop here. And there was a big S1000 hanging out in the corner with like a GH4 underneath it. And I don't know if you guys know this guy. There's a guy named Phil Grossman. Do you know him? Do you know that name?
I don't. I'm sorry.
I don't. He seemed like a huge deal at the time, but basically he was doing a lot of the promo stuff for DJI, and he's one of the few people that's ever gotten to flown in Chernobyl as far as the exclusion zone is concerned. So
yeah.
Most people my age have no idea what Chernobyl is. So, for the viewers that don't know, in 1986, April 26th, the nuclear reactor exploded, causing nuclear seepage all over Europe, and a lot of, I guess, all over the world, not just Europe, but mainly Europe. And they had to basically put a 30-kilometer radius around this place to keep people out, to try to minimize radiation exposure and birth defects, or ultimately death and cancerous related disease.
How long were you out? How long were you out there? And were you nervous about being near so much radiation?
Well, I mean, I didn't go until later, so not to dismantle that story. I'll get to that in a minute. You can ask me about Chernobyl, because that's kind of one thing in its own. But that guy basically was supposedly working for DJI, traveling around, and he was being paid by DJI hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to Chernobyl, and I had some kind of infatuation, like an infatuation with Chernobyl, and I wanted to go. So this dude got to fly drones, which technically I didn't really like at the time. I thought they were boring. And I was like, well, maybe that's a viable source of income rather than me joining the military and being paid pennies on the dollar to go learn how to fly helicopters. So I decided to buy a TBS Discovery Pro and get into like aerial photography. And right around that same time, the Blackout Mini H Quad came out, which is like the first real turnkey kind of solution for a mini quad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I got into mini quads. And that was like June 2014, July 2014.
Okay, and you were, for a while, you were a DJI tech, is that right?
Yes and no. I was a DJI tech at Atlanta Hobby for a year, and I did know a lot about Phantom 2s because that was kind of the drone that had come out that particular year. This was like 2014, 2015. Actually, I think I got the job 2015, worked all of 2015, and then left 2016. So, yeah, Phantom 2 had just come out, and I worked all the way through the Phantom 3. And really, Phantom 3 at that point, everything kind of went away from the NASA as far as like a standalone unit and went into like this full PCB that had the ESCs and everything built into it. And it was so much more complicated to work on. So it was like, oh, well, you know, an ESC's bad. All right, well, you need to replace this entire board rather than a little ESC, or, you know, it was a lot more complicated. So the repair work was a lot less repair oriented. It was more like, this doesn't work. Replace this huge component.
It's just
you know,
a replacement instead.
So I worked at it when we were actually troubleshooting problems and mainly dealing with like software update problems, because I don't want to throw any DJI owners under the bus, but you guys are pretty bad about updating software and doing it correctly. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, now you're very mechanically inclined. That's a big part of being a race drone guy, because there's a lot of building and fixing and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I went to school for electronics engineering, and I've grown up around electronics repair my entire life. So my dad's self-employed, and he works for himself. Eagle Audio is his company, and he fixes pro audio gear for all of the music retailers in the Southeast. You got no audio? We good?
No, we're good. It just fizzled. It's probably, I'm in backwards bandwidth here in Tennessee.
Okay.
But no, you're very, very good at your tinkering, and I don't mean to be dismissive, but I have a video here that our photography drones might be interested in. You turned a Phantom into a race drone. This is very impressive. How long did this project take you?
Well, the first time probably like an hour and a half.
Okay, so you've done this a few times.
It was mainly just gutting out the Phantom and trying to make the body rigid enough to be able to handle the... I mean, we're dealing with carbon fiber on a regular basis, and this thing is just like a big plastic floppy thing, so I had to turn all kinds of filters on to get it to even take off because it had so much oscillations because the body was so soft.
But you finally got it here, and what your flying is so impressive. There's a part here coming up at the end where you're just zipping around yourself. I want to...
the orbit. It looks like it's control line. I don't know how I got it locked in such perfect loop, but it's just like, it looks like I have a control line thing. It's just perfect.
Yeah, and I have to ask you, are you a pincher or a thumber?
I do a hybrid, actually.
Okay.
I was a thumber, and I wanted to be... Here's that perfect orbit.
That is just impressive, man.
And it just goes on forever, too. Like, it'll get locked in, and I just keep it. It looks like it's a loop. Like, it doesn't look like it's real. But
it does. Wow.
That's crazy, man.
That's awesome. That is awesome. Now, Dana, I'm gonna let you go for a minute, and I'm gonna call Chris Rollins in. Is that all right, Dana? Don't get your feelings hurt. All right,
I'm a hater.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I'm gonna hang up on. Bye, Dana. And I'm gonna bring in someone who knows a little bit more about all this stuff, if I can. His name. You
guys are hearing me through this mic, correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
All right, bringing in Chris Rollins, if I can. Here, let's see, Chris. Come on, Chris. Hey, there he is.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chris Rollins. All right.
Now I heard what you said up there. Like I've got some secret knowledge that I'm supposed to now, throw out on this interview here. That's pressure, man. That's pressure.
Yeah. All right. There we go. I had to set all this up before. I guess I missed one. All right. So we're good. Audio's good. All right.
Am I in this?
You're in. Mr. Steele, Chris Rollins.
How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
I wanted to play another video. One of your you went to Dubai for the freestyle competitions in 2015. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah. Well, there was actually like a race, and the freestyle was kind of a secondary thing that ended up happening. But
okay. So for
freestyle
those
always got pushed to the side.
So for those who don't know, what is the difference between a race and freestyle?
Freestyle is literally just you doing whatever the heck you want to do with the drone in an open or in any kind of environment. So just
okay. And what we're looking at
environment, if that.
Yeah. So that is a track. I'm dumbing it down for people who don't know anything about race drone. That's a track.
That was a $100,000 track that was built, and there was $1 million cash prize for this like huge race that basically some dude, some sheik out there, he invited all these people over to come over to basically show how large Dubai's cojones are by spending a lot of money.
Wow.
Which Dubai is pretty good at doing.
Yeah, they are.
For the next 20 years maybe, and then it'll we'll see what happens.
Just don't know. But this is absolutely amazing. I have to ask, is this something where if people wanted to, the audience, can they bring their own goggles and then tune into your frequency and ride along with what you're doing?
Yeah, so FPV is one of these things where like you can have 1 billion receivers on the same channel and it's not going to do anything. So you can have the whole, whatever can pick up the frequency is going to be able to pick it up. It's like having an antenna on your roof and being able to pick in or tune into like a satellite TV station or even an old analog TV station. As long as you have the right antenna and the right receiving equipment, you can basically listen in on anything that's being broadcast.
That's what I find fascinating with all this. And I've never been to an event. I've never been.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive, for viewer experience, just to be able to, instead of just watching it from the ground, you just, flip your goggles on and you're kind of there.
Yeah, you just gotta know what channel they're on, but
So what do you think, Mr. Steele? What do you think is the future as far as being in the mainstream? Is this always going to be kind of like an X game kind of thing, or is are we going to see this? It's going to be in the Olympics, or is it going to be more mainstream as time goes on, or is this just a fad? It's not for you. I don't mean. Please don't think I'm dismissing it at all. But there are those like myself that aren't as familiar, like baseball and football and all that. That's the only thing I meant by that.
Yeah, I don't think it's ever going to be like baseball or football. Whether or not you want to think Drone Racing League, they think differently or not, I don't think it's personally going to get to that point. Mainly because there's not really there's no human danger, I guess. Like people want to see people in danger.
Point. Yeah.
It doesn't matter what it is. And the only thing that doesn't involve human danger is like esports. And the only real reason esports are popular is because they're so accessible. Like a 5-year-old can get a video game console and play and kill him and his friends online. So with this is like an outdoor esports where there's not really any danger, but it's also a high cost of entry. So you're losing a lot of people based on the high cost of entry, which I don't consider it a high cost of entry, not because I'm rich or anything, but because I just have expensive hobbies. I've been building and modifying cars since I could basically drive, and that's not, for me, this is like, you can buy the best of the best quality FPV gear, all of it for less than $2,000 and be like done, not have to buy anything for a long time until you break something. Which if you buy the best of the best in the beginning, then it's very unlikely that you're going to have the quality problems, or there's going to be like you bought something obscure and you're not going to be able to find a problem or a fix for it because there's only like 5 people in the world that have that cheapo thing. If you buy something that people have, it's like buying a Toyota Corolla. 1 billion people have a Toyota Corolla, so you're like, oh, well, there's this common problem.
Right.
and here's the problem's fix, versus buying some weird obscure Alfa Romeo that you imported that you have no idea about, and there's only 3 people in the world that have one, and all of a sudden the distributor takes a dump and you can't get a replacement.
Right.
I like that analogy. That's a good analogy.
How fast does a build become obsolete? Like how fast is the technology coming along? Like new battery types or motor types or frames and stuff like that.
I mean, I think it's you're actually talking to somebody that's running a very similar gear to what I ran 3 years ago. So a lot of people will argue this point and say that, well, you got to keep up, and it's always like it's faster than phones. Like every 3 months there's something new coming out, and you have to have the latest and greatest thing, or you're going to be a shitty pilot. And to be quite honest, the frame that I'm using is an Alien, which is made by Impulse RC, and I got that frame at Drone Nationals 2015, which was in July of 2015. So not the same frame, but the concept and the design was made in 2015, and it literally has not changed, very slightly, but it hasn't changed in a large realm since then. And you know, there's only so much you can do with plate carbon fiber, and you can't really justify spending money on like some kind of curved molded carbon fiber that doesn't, it's got more rosin in it than a resin, whatever you want to call it, than anything else. So it ends up weighing more. There's just like a weight balance versus durability. You either build a heavy quad that's really durable, but then it weighs a lot and it doesn't perform, or you build a light quad and it's really fragile. And mainly the electronics is really what advances. Like video transmitters get smaller, ESCs get smaller, the response time between the flight controller and the ESC, which is the electronic speed controller, which is what controls the motors. Those are the things that are really changing with time, and it's not necessarily like the hardware per se. It's more software based.
Right. I guess it's like being a musician and having a favorite go-to guitar that you use all the time. Do you have just like one favorite build that you use more than others?
Yeah, I just sold 2 of them, but I have 2 of the exact same quad that I fly. Usually I have 4 to 6, and I've realized over time that I literally don't use that many. I'm OCD about the quad, and if I break one, then I immediately fix it because I don't want to just like set it aside and have it be broken. And there's never a problem that's like mysterious and I can't find it, so I just, I broke a bottom plate, I crashed and broke a camera lens, okay, I'm gonna replace that. It takes me 5 minutes to replace that. Why would I put it on the side and be a baller and pick up a brand new build? Because they all act different. Like, even though they're all exactly the same, there's always one quad that you feel more comfortable with, just because it's got its tolerances in a certain way, and it might be beaten up a little bit and you don't care about it as much, so you fly it harder. There's all these little nuances about individual quads that I like. So
Chris,
well, I have a question.
Go ahead, Chris.
So I started following you probably like around 30,000 subscribers, and you do a lot of tuning. You do a ton of tuning. Like, what did you start flying ready to fly quads? Because a lot of guys watching probably don't know or unfamiliar with the fact that a lot of these, even the ready to fly ones, aren't exactly ready to fly. You've still got a lot of work to do to kind of get them fly ready. Did you fly a lot of pre-built kits for a while before you started building your own quads out from scratch?
Well, when I got into it, there was no such thing as a pre-built kit. So, I started about 4 years ago. So 2014, like a little over 4 years ago. And when I got into it, it wasn't necessarily a kit. It was more about people that would tell you their setup. So, like, there was a dude named Boris B, which, for anybody that's in the mini quad world, he's the one that started something what we now know as Beta Flight, which was actually a fork off of this thing called Clean Flight, which was a fork off of this thing called Base Flight, which was a fork with something else called, I don't even know, it was like a KK2. It just goes so far back, and everyone forks off of something and makes their own name. Yeah,
that's a lot of forking drones. hey.
Exactly.
Sorry, my bad.
But this dude Boris, Blackout came out, and Blackout was like they were like the Ferrari in the drone world. Like, it didn't really matter that there were other drone companies out there. They were the ones that were like really in the spotlight. People knew of it regardless. You kind of just saw the frame and a silhouette, and you're like, oh, that's a blackout frame. Like, you knew it was a blackout, and everyone that was sponsored by Blackout was like a big baller. Like, everyone, you would see him and you're like, oh, it's Boris, oh, it's Metal Danny, oh, it's like, you know, all-wheel drive quads. There were like these certain dudes that were super like in the know, and there were probably only 100 people in the world that knew who they were, but it was still something kind of intense. And back then there was only one dude that would share anything, and it was Boris. And he would put in his description of his video, he'd put his ESCs, he'd put his flight controller, and he would put his PIDs.
Really?
So yeah, and I was like, well, this guy is really good. He knows what he's doing, and his quad flies well. So I'm just gonna copy exactly his setup, and I'm gonna build it, and I'm gonna see if it flies well. And I literally would do that. I would buy every single thing that he had on his list. I would put it in his PIDs, and I would just fiddle with it until I made it work for me. And that's kind of how I started with building stuff. And then eventually, you know, once you start understanding things a little bit more, you start understanding how to set the quad up for your particular circumstances. It's like someone getting into a car that's never been a race car driver before versus a guy that gets into a car that knows how to set it up. He's like, I want, you know, a bigger sway bar in the front. I want softer springs in the back for this particular track. It's the same thing with a mini quad. You have to know what your needs are, and you have to suit those needs, or you're always going to be chasing your tail. And that's one thing that I've carried on throughout my career in FPV is I always try to give back exactly what I got from Boris. So I try to share my exact setup and my exact PIDs so that anyone can have my setup. I'm not hiding anything. If someone wants to build my exact drone and put my exact PIDs in it, they can do that. And I offer that not as a service, but literally as just like, here's the list of parts. Here's my PIDs. Right. Put it in.
Yeah, you can see that
doesn't make them you know, I mean, what you've got and what you're.
People think that I always have this special edge, like I'm this prototype that I get all the
prototype hold back
things.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so what I did is specifically showed how much a setup can really help a pilot, because really what you want is you want something that is very reliable, and you want something that is very intuitive to fly. So how I would consider something intuitive is if it reacts like a flight simulator, where there doesn't really care what you're flying or where you're flying. It just acts the same in all environments. So I did this it was kind of like an experiment / fun thing that I did. So I had a quad that I had been flying for like 6 months or something, and it was about time for me to just swap to a new, like I was going to build 4 new quads because I had a new frame coming out. And I basically gave one of my quads to this girl named Noelle in Australia. I just sent it to her as if I had just flown it in my yard, and then I put it in a box and sent it to her. I saw that video. And did you see her before flights and then the day she got it? Like how much she improved? Yeah. And she had never flown my quad ever. So that's kind of what I'm talking about. When you make something intuitive and you make it feel how it should, per se. Yeah. It's very predictable, and you can understand it a little bit better. Where if you're always trying to change and upgrade to the latest thing, and you're always trying to do something to make yourself, you think someone has this edge because they have this new piece of technology. Right. In reality, it's just what you're used to and what you.
And that's what the companies are depending on. They're depending on people thinking that if they buy the next great thing, then it's going to make them better somehow.
Well, I mean, I have a company and I deal with 7 to 8, 9, 10 other companies, and they all understand my methodology, and we all do really well. So, you know. Tell us a little bit about ethics.
Okay. There's a link in the description for anybody. Keep it, you know.
I'll keep it pretty short. Really, the premise of ethics is to basically refine FPV. That's what it is. Hold on a second.
Very good.
Somebody dox him.
What's that?
I said, did somebody dox him?
Oh, okay. He's got to go. All right. Well, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play the video that I saw from Mr. Steele that really got me interested in him. This is him, and I'm sure you've seen this. This is him building surfing.
Oh, it's my favorite. We were like circling around this roundabout, and I was diving the building while I was in the car.
I saw this and I just
on point with a man bun. Come on.
Yeah, I saw this video. It was in one of my recommendations, and I watched it about 10 times. I was just.
I love that sound, by the way.
Yeah, the zzz.
Oh gosh.
Do you think you could do this, Chris? Being in the car
and have the drone in one piece at the end of it.
It's got to mess with your inner ear and all that. You got to be.
I mean, I've flown goggles from a boat, and that was insanely disorienting, just with the bouncing. But I wasn't trying to not hit things because it was open water.
I mean, he's going between the tree and the car.
Yeah. You've seen how he ends this, right?
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Still, the first video of yours that I saw was where you were in Hawaii with the 80-mile-an-hour winds. That was how I discovered your channel.
Is he back? Are we back?
Yeah, he's back.
Oh, okay, cool.
Are you, how much flight time did you get out of that in Hawaii?
Out of that particular flight?
Yeah. Was that one pack, or did you fly multiple packs?
On the ridge, on the 80-mile-an-hour thing, that was one battery that I flew up there. Basically all the things I did in Hawaii were one battery, just because it was too. I was like scared of losing a quad, so I just said, you know what, I got this one back. I'm just gonna call it now instead of pushing my luck. Yeah,
take the win. A lot of guys may not know too. These drones, these race quads, only fly for what, 3 to 5 minutes, depending on how hard you're pushing it.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah, they don't fly very long. So we're running like, you know, like your Mavics are on 3S, and your Phantom 4s they were 4S. Actually, I think a Phantom 3 is 4S. They're 6S now, I think. They may be 4S, but what we're talking about is cell count. So we're talking about lithium polymer batteries, and each lithium polymer battery cell has 4.2 volts. So if you add 2 or 3 or 4 various voltages, and ultimately the higher voltage you have, the more efficiently you can drive things, as in these motors. But you have to have a speed controller which can handle the higher voltage. So it's kind of been a play on, you know, what components can handle over the last 5 years or so. So back in the day, 3S was kind of your standard, which is like 12.6 volts. That's like typical, you know, car battery voltage. But they can only handle so much because it wants to draw more current because if you have a lower voltage. If you go to a higher voltage, you draw less current. It's more efficient, but then you have to be able to handle the higher voltage, which most components couldn't until very recently.
So are you a 6S guy now?
I've just recently, like as in probably about 5 months ago, switched to 6S, and I'm one of the very few people in the mini quad world that is exclusively flying 6S and doing it reliably.
Wow.
So,
if some people, photography drone people, are watching and are getting lost, I could feel myself kind of going just a few times. These are all things that I desperately want to know. I want to learn. What's the easiest way to what's the entry level thing to get in if people are interested in possibly one day trying to have a little bit of fun with a race quad? What should they do as newbies?
Okay, so I actually kind of tried to draw this map out in my. So I had a website for a long time. I still own it. It's called rippingballs.com.
Okay.
And I was surprised that it was open when I got it, honestly. But you know, if you search ripping balls on Google Images, you will only see pictures of my face. It's pretty hilarious.
Okay.
But maybe not now, but at least 6 months ago when I checked. But so back then I would, you know, kind of tell people, hey, this is my setup, and that was kind of my way of giving back and telling people what to do. And I'm not pushing sales, like I don't care, and that's kind of what makes my my YouTube channel, I feel, different than a lot of other people's YouTube channels, because it feels like at some point in any YouTube channel's life it gets to a point where advertisements take over and you really see a degrading in general consensus of quality, not necessarily in a sense that the actual quality's gone down, but just how they interact with
right. They're selling out to the man.
Yeah, is that exactly selling out? So, whatever that's worth, I've always kept true to my, I do what I want, and I actually ask people for sponsorship. So if I want, to use a certain product, then I will say, hey, would you like to sponsor me? And so far, it's always been yes. So I have not had to adjust any of my paths based on someone telling me no. So, whether or not that's, to be seen as conceited or some stupid thing, basically I just do whatever I want. And as far as me flying, I use what I like, and then I ask for permission to get that stuff for free and all.
Right. I'm sure there's no doubt as to your integrity.
Bring sales. Yeah. Well, I try to be integral with everybody. I don't have any contracts as far as that is concerned. So if something I don't like or something new comes out, I just say, you guys, I'm going to give you 2 months to figure it out. If you can't give me a product that's as good or better than the one that's out on the market right now, then I'm going to ask these other people. But for the most part, it's been 5 years or 4, at least, no, if not 5, 3 years, and I've been on the same sponsored products since the beginning, because I picked the best of the best in the beginning, and they're still, in my eyes, the best of the best out there. So, there's always some little flash in the pan product that comes out, and you're like, oh, what is that? And then 2 weeks later, nobody cares anymore.
Right.
So
bright light. Yeah. Okay. So how do you feel about all of the drone laws that are changed in the FAA, and how is the race drone world affected by like Part 107 certification? Are you Part 107 certified? Do you need to be? How do you feel about
FAA,
that?
Didn't you? Didn't you have a meeting with some guys?
I actually went to jail for a small amount of time because of the FAA.
Really?
Yeah.
What's FAA jail like?
Like DeKalb County, pretty shitty.
Oh my gosh.
So to keep a long story short, I basically went and flew a place called the Pullman Yard in DeKalb County, which is owned by the state of Georgia at the time, but it changes owners like every 6 months. So at this particular time, it was owned by the state of Georgia. And anyways, the FAA was investigating me because I had a bunch of complaints about my YouTube channel being, against the law.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Basically, I was like, well, you know what? If you want to report me, effing do it, and I'll be waiting for this call from the FAA because I didn't think they were going to do anything.
Right.
And I got an email from the FAA, and they were like, hey, we would like to have a meeting with you in regards to your YouTube stuff. And I was like, okay, cool. Tell me when. We showed up, sat at the head of the table, and essentially schooled 5 people on their policies and how they don't even understand their own policies and their gray areas and stuff. And the one thing that they actually the reason they brought me in is because of the sticker on the building that I did. So I figured out how to essentially place stickers anywhere I want by putting a sticker on the base of my drone and then smacking the building with the drone and leaving the sticker there.
Oh, cool.
So, and they were like, this is considered vandalism. And I was like, yeah, well, you know what? I know the owner of the building, and he said I had permission to do it. So
yeah. Wow.
And all of the other things, there were literally no other infractions other than the fact that I flew at night one time. But this was actually before Part 107 had even been released, so it was still under Part 333, which no one had.
Right.
Because that was full-scale pilot's license, and nobody was willing to pay the $12,000 to get a full-scale pilot's license and fly a mini quad. So until the Part 107 came out, then it was like, well, the only thing that I've is fly at night before something was released, and then apparently vandalize a building that I had permission to be flying on and touching. So they were like, all right, cool, well, let's work together and promote drone safety. And I was like, okay, cool. But apparently one of the guys that originally had tried to get me in and tried to like fine me was dissatisfied with the fact that I was not even given a slap on the wrist or anything, and he essentially went and found a video where I was technically trespassing, and he sent it in to the state of Georgia, and they I had to spend ended up like 4 hours in a holding cell, and like had to pay I don't remember what it was. It was like $500 or $600.
Wow.
Something like that, and just deal with. I ended up paying like $1,200 or $1,500 because I had to hire a lawyer too, which was a joke. The guy that I hired was a joke.
So are you Part 107 certified now?
I am, and have been since the day it came out. Yeah. And you know, Part 107 to me is pretty awesome. All this whole new whatever revision of the 333 and a removal of it. Honestly, I don't even pay attention because it doesn't actually affect me personally. And yeah, it probably affects the hobbyist a little bit more. But to be quite honest, if you are flying a drone in a park, how often do police officers come up and they're like, "Yo, show me your papers"? I have never, ever been asked to show anything. They're just like, "What are you doing?" And you're like, "Oh, here's a set of goggles, bro."
Right, and it's
like,
always the case that we are the ones that know a little bit more than the officials, which is hopefully going to change. We're running out of time, and thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us. You have been very educational to us photography drone guys. You are also into paramotors. I've got a little bit of video here showing you. I believe this is your first time.
Oh yeah.
How nervous were you doing this?
It's kind of numb actually. I wasn't that nervous until I thought about landing after I was already up. Because landing is scary. The takeoff part is just like pretty neutral. This was like the third day. I had never done anything with paramotors ever in my life, and this was the third day that we went down there and basically kited, which means you don't have a motor. You just like play with the parachute, or it's actually called a glider on the ground.
Okay.
So if you can get like you understand it a little bit.
Right. If the engine cuts out, do you just float down?
It's not like a parachute. You actually have a pretty good glide ratio. It's like 13-to-1 or something. So you end up like as long as you're not over water or over like a treacherous terrain, you can land safely regardless of, even if you're going downwind. You'll
no.
Flare like a plane, you know.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that last part. Brakes. It kind of cut out. So if the engine cuts out, you kind of glide down like a glider then?
Yeah, it's 13-to-1 glide ratio, so it's very, very gentle, subtle glide ratio. You just come in and land wherever. You just pick a spot. Like if your engine like cuts itself or dies or something, you're just like, okay, there's a field, and go down and land in it. Not that big of a deal.
I forgot to show you this one. I got a comment on one of my videos. It was about some of the FAA laws, and somebody commented this. It says, only rule that needs to be changed is to outlaw FPV racer type drones and their operators. They are the ones you see on YouTube and in public parks carelessly zipping around and endangering trees, kids, and everyone else. Yes. How have you endangered trees? And when will you stop? I
endanger trees all the time, actually. Especially when I have to climb them to get my crap out of them.
Does that happen a lot? Like, first of all, do you get stuck in trees a lot? And secondly, do you get a certain level of hate messages on just random people?
Not anymore. I mean, there's like the viral videos that attract this like generic YouTube cancer, but for the most part, like I've kind of been systematically banning people from my channel for the last 2 years. So unless there's just some new asshole that comes in that's there for 20 minutes until I see the comment and ban his ass, then you know, because it's not like I'm holding people back from being able to say what they want to say. They're literally idiots. They're stating things that they have no idea what they're talking about, like endangering trees. I'm sorry, but have you been to the Southeast? We have too many trees, and I am pretty liberal when it comes to like that view, you know.
Yeah,
like
take out
saving the world. Like I care about trees, and I don't think I'm endangering trees by flying a drone near them.
Right.
I think woodpeckers are endangering trees more than I am.
Yes, absolutely. Do you have another minute or two, Mr. Steele? Yeah.
I do 3-hour podcasts, man. I'm here for the night.
Okay, cool. Chris, you know Ed Ricker, and he lost his mind when he found out Mr. Steele was going to be on. So if you don't mind, if you both don't mind, I'd like to bring Ed in because he would never forgive me if I didn't let him ask you a few questions.
You got to save the bandwidth, man.
Yeah, I do. I have to. Yeah, I'm West Tennessee, backwards bandwidth. All right, so Chris, bye-bye.
Steele, it's nice to meet you, man.
It's a pleasure.
All right.
Good night.
And I'll play my silly dialing music here. Is there any? Are there any sponsors or anything you'd like to mention while you're on here, or anything? Am I missing anything? You'd like to mention anything? I would like to encourage everyone to please subscribe to Mr. Steele's channel. At least check it out. There's a link in the description. Try to bring Ed.
Cool, man. Thanks. Shout outs. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd like to shout this dude out. He like sends me stickers all the time. Johnny Cupcakes. They make shirts.
Johnny Cupcakes. That's all. What kind of channel does he have?
Oh, I don't even know. It's just a buddy of mine, Michael Ramirez in the UK. He apparently works with this dude that owns this shirt company called Johnny Cupcakes, and they just like send me shirts all the time. And I honestly don't wear them as much as I should, but they make cool stickers. They got like some kind of deal with Cartoon Network or something, so they have all these like weird stickers. Like their logo is
cool.
Freaking.
Oh,
like
wow.
A cupcake with crossbones and.
I don't know if I would eat there.
They don't even sell. I think they do sell cupcakes. I don't know.
Black cupcakes. They must. I think Ed's here. Ed, are you here, buddy?
I'm here.
Okay, now I've got a little bit
What's
of
up?
Hold on, I got a little bit of a problem here.
Oh, I'm really big.
You are really big.
Hunker down here.
No, it's my fault. Hold on a second.
Okay.
I'll fix it. I will fix it, man.
That's all right. Well, by the way, nice to meet you, Steele, and nice to see you again, Ken.
Yeah. There we go.
I could be down here.
Nah, man, don't worry about it. I got you.
I can adjust my webcam.
No, dude, I got you. I got you. I'm fixing it.
Oh, sweet. Awesome.
Yeah,
Very good.
All right.
Yeah, thanks for letting me on for a second here. I had a few questions, Steele, if you don't mind. I just been watching your YouTube for a little while now, and I've been flying FPV drones for about 10, 11 months now, and always trying to get better and always impressed by your work. So one of the questions that I had kind of relates to FPV quad cinematography, and we see a lot of people on YouTube posting videos with really smooth footage, making it look very cinematic, but I haven't seen a whole lot of commercial application to that. And I know that you've done certain things like maybe a car commercial. I think you did a video, also that auto drifting video, which is really cool. But do you think there's really much of a market for FPV quad cinematography for commercial use?
I mean, if you'd asked me like a year ago, I probably would have said potentially, but it seems like seemingly more and more is opening up as far as what is available for the use of a mini quad, mainly because you get a better camera every year. So GoPro just dropped the 7, which is enabling like smoother and better quality footage than we've ever seen before from such a small sensor. So that is kind of opening up doors into the cinematic world, but still it's limited because it's a very specific shot, but it's a tool that people are starting to realize is an option. So I actually have the whole month of November, I've got 4 different car shoots to do, something with the NBA, and just all these different people.
That's awesome.
Not what you would think it is. It's like complementary shots. It's not necessarily like a diving of a building and that's like specifically the shot. It might be like they want a sweepy shot here and they want a sweepy shot here. They want this close up on this mountain biker going down a hill that they can't get with like without a drone. And it would have to be a highly skilled pilot to get the shot because they can't do it with like a cable cam because the guy would hit the cable cam or something like that. So
yeah, I remember
like
I was zipping around some
shots.
trees one time, and I posted some videos on Instagram, and one of my friends who makes like indie films and stuff, he said, I got to use that for my horror movie. Apparently, he thought that could be used in a movie of his. So, yeah, it's pretty cool that you have applications like that. Didn't mean to cut you off, though.
No, you're good. Yeah, it's an open market. There's definitely going to be people utilizing it more and more, but the problem right now is accessibility and just overall experience, because I think this industry in general and the people that are in this industry, there are only very few that have the experience that and the know-how and the ability to market themselves and the ability to manage themselves to be able to get these jobs. Because when you got someone that comes to you like say Ford or Red Bull, and they're like, hey, we want a drone shot, and then you're like dealing with some kid that's, you know, making an Instagram post every couple days and talking about like basketball shorts or some, just like, I'm not trying to single anybody out. I'm just giving you like a general thing. Like there are a lot of younger people in this industry and this hobby. I'm younger myself, but I've grown a lot in the last 4 years, and both of my parents are self-employed. So I kind of understand how to use the things that I have to help myself move forward. Where if you come from like a corporate world and you got someone asking you like, hey, you know, I need this, and it's like, oh, I'll do it for free. And that kind of doesn't do anything for anybody, because you're basically underselling yourself, your skill, but you're also doing it because some big corporation is basically saying that you'll get exposure off of being used on this film or used on this content. And I see that a lot. Like I've been used by GoPro and Red Bull multiple times where they're like, hey, we're going to put a channel out, we're going to put a video out about, and not necessarily about drones, but it's going to be on our main channel, and there's going to be a lot of drone shots involved. And I'm like, well, cool, I'll do it for $250 a day because I'm going to be on the GoPro channel. And then that never happens, and the payment takes forever, and you know, you only made like $500 or something for working like 3 to 5 days in some remote area, and you might have lost an aircraft, or there's a lot of nonsense that goes on. So now I just basically, I like doing my YouTube stuff. I enjoy it. I don't need to go do these jobs. So when people approach me, I'm just like, this is my rate. And that's the, I don't get out of bed for what's on the table because I don't do it because I deal with so much crap so often. And that kind of
that's a good luxury to have.
Honestly, it's a deterrent.
Yeah. Ed,
okay. I have one more question, Ken, if you think we have time.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Just had a question. So looking at your channel, you do mostly freestyle, but I do recall you've posted some videos maybe a couple of years ago where you were kind of dabbling in racing, and I'm wondering why you ultimately preferred, or at least, well, maybe you do prefer it, freestyle over racing. Why you seem to do freestyle more than racing?
Racing requires having friends.
Oh, that sounds kind of sad.
Or Steele.
No, the competitive nature of racing a drone is not something that I think my main reasoning why I dislike racing as far as drones are concerned, because I enjoy car racing, I enjoy multiple types of racing, but drone racing particularly, I feel like there's so much unknown. Like you might go around this corner and someone might be on a channel that's close to yours and you might lose video, or you might get clipped by some guy because you can't see him behind you. There's all these unknowns that really, it comes into like luck. And if I were to gauge like racing and the winners based on luck, for the most part, if you go to like a neutrally balanced race where like the top 5 guys are all within 2 to 3 seconds of each other, the person that wins is ultimately the luckiest one of that group. Now,
right,
there are exceptions.
Freestyle is more of an art form. It's more expressive.
Well, I am artistic in a sense that I grew up playing in bands, and I enjoy video games as a child, and just like skateboarding is another passion of mine. So I enjoy tricks. I enjoy the art, the flow, the mindset of getting into a state of flow. And like racing is so like narrow-minded, I think, when it comes to, you know, you're following this path. I don't like following paths. That's why I do what I do. I make my own path, and that's freestyle. It kind of relates directly to how I live my life, and that's just what I've done since the beginning, and that's what I enjoy. Racing is like a byproduct, and the reason I dabbled in racing is because that at the time seemingly was the only way to make any kind of headway into becoming some kind of professional pilot in this industry.
What would you be doing if there was no such thing as race drones?
No idea.
Okay.
No idea. I don't know. I was teaching rock climbing before I did this, and
skateboarding.
Like I said, I was thinking about, no, I would not be a pro skateboarder.
No.
I don't have the ankles to be throwing my. I don't care enough to break myself to make a trick, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I have no idea.
we do a thing every week called Would You Ride It? It's basically where I look around for these people who are building these manned drones, and it's a misnomer. They wouldn't be a drone if they were manned, but regardless, you know what I mean. And Ed, you want to stick around and check this out?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, everybody in the chat, tell me if you would ride this. This is called...
This sounds bad.
What's that? Oh.
This sounds bad. Would you ride it?
Oh, yeah. Well, this is called the Surefly Electric Octocopter. It's made by a company called Workhorse.
Terrifying.
Yeah. I mean, if they name it Surefly, they're really kind of trying to instill confidence in you with the name. They should just call it Won't Fall Out of the Sky, I guess. It's got 8 independent motors, a backup battery system, a safety ballistic parachute for emergencies, good God, and it can fly up to 70 miles per hour. Mr. Steele, would you ride this?
You didn't say the flight time. Is it hover for 4 seconds? Because that's what it looks like it's doing.
Yeah, I think they're still in the testing stage here with the training wheels on it.
I feel like they're all in testing stage. I would not ride it at all. I don't trust anything in multi-rotor that's going to carry a human being.
Yeah.
It needs to have collective pitch or a fixed wing of some sort creating lift. Those are the only things that I will even consider putting my body on.
I tend to agree. And the ones that are exclusively fly over water, I'm particularly worried about.
Yeah, it sounds like a death trap.
Yeah.
Here, get in this cockpit so you can drown.
Yeah, right.
Because it's ultimately going to crash.
Yeah. Ed, would you...
I can't believe the amount of, like, that guy looks like he's been flying helicopters for 50 years.
Yeah.
And they're going to put him in there, and they better be paying him a lot. That's all I got.
Yeah, they're going to lose a good pilot. And a lot of carbon fiber, looks like.
Yeah.
Ed, would you ride that thing?
Not light.
Yeah, I would fly it about that high, about 2-3 feet, but I would have to see someone else take it up any higher. I mean, that guy's got a helmet, he's got like the full safety suit on. Yeah, we'll have to give it a couple months before I get in that thing.
Very good.
Couple months.
Well, thank you for stopping by, Ed. I'm going to go ahead and see if I can bring Dana back if he's still there. Let me go ahead and try to
All right, nice talking to you, Steele.
Seamlessly make this
Pleasure.
transition here.
Night.
Say goodbye to Ed. Did I do that? Bye-bye, Ed. And now, gotta bring Dana back. Are you digging the music?
Yeah. Solid elevator music.
Yeah. Thank you so much for being on. Did I call you back, Ed?
Yeah, I think you called me back.
I don't want to do that. Oh no, and now my camera's out. Let me go.
Technical difficulties.
Ah, this is what people wait for. This is why people watch NASCAR, for the crashes. All right. Ed, I'm going to go there. Okay, Ed's gone. All right. Anyway, so what kind of projects you got coming up?
What do you mean projects? Like
what
projects or
what can we see on your YouTube channel? You got any special super flying locations or anything like that?
Well, outside, so my YouTube channel is not necessarily, it is based around drones, but it's become, hello? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, sorry, I just like, my picture came up, was like, I'm going to talk to myself for 10 minutes and not going to know. But yeah, so like my FPV channel is not necessarily just about FPV. I do all kinds of things. So I built a van last year that I traveled the country in for about 4 months this year. So I bought a panel van and spent like, a couple, like 15 grand or something in it. And then
I wanted to ask you about that. That's my pretty much my retirement plan, is to get a van like that, and then just ride around the country. It's a very romantic idea. It's something that I think
it is. It is a little more romantic than it actually is, but it's fun.
Is it horrible?
I don't regret doing it at all, and I love the van for what it is, and I do many trips in it, but I would definitely not live out of it 100%. I'm just not that. I'm not that minimalistic.
Okay.
I have some things that I enjoy, like driving a manual car and
yes.
having a shower every day.
Yeah, you were showering at a health club or something.
Yeah, there's a place called Planet Fitness that is essentially like not a very good gym, that is all over the United States. But they do have showers, and the memberships are cheap. It's like $22 a month for a nationwide membership, and you can just roll up into any of them and take a shower and do whatever you need to do. And most of them are 24 hours. So.
And what kind of manual car do you have?
I have two actually at the moment. So I had the van. Before that, I had a Honda Fit. Before that, I had like a 240 SX that I put like 30 grand into, which is like a drift car. It wasn't a drift car, but that's what people are gonna assume it was. And then I bought this van and built that thing out, and then kind of got bored of the Fit because it was just whatever. Anyways, I bought a Subaru, which is the car that I've had 3 Subarus in my life. An STI, which if anybody knows what that is, it's like the top of the line performance Subaru that you can get. I had one of those a long time ago, and I had 2 WRXs, which is like the next step down. Recently, I bought an 06 STI, which is like when I was 16 years old, being born in 1990. In 2006, I used to go to the dealership when they were brand new at 16 and like drool over them. So when I, turned 20, I guess it was last year, so I wasn't necessarily for my birthday, but I found one with 28,000 miles on it. Flew to Boston. It was like a one owner, had sat in a climate controlled garage. The dude had like all kinds of special cars that had low mileage on them, and they were all blue. He had like 3 STIs, 2 Evos, Corvette, all kinds of stuff, and they were all blue, and they were all in this garage. And I was like, okay, I want that one.
I love manual transmission. I have a 6-speed RX-8, and I'll never go back to
That's
automatic.
Crazy. I was thinking about buying an RX-7, but I love rotary in theory, but it's kind of like you with the romantic van. Like, it sounds awesome, but then
you can
really
get a
2-stroke.
You can get a lemon very easily. Don't buy it from a 17-year-old. Don't get the ones that have all the stuff glued on it.
Yeah.
I try to keep mine stocked. So it looks like my camera's overheating. I can't get Dana back, and the show's falling apart, but we still have some people watching, and I want to thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks.
I'm going to have to hang up on everybody on Skype and then redial maybe Ed or Chris if they're still watching, because I got to give all the prizes away and wrap this up. But thank you again. I really do appreciate your time and what you're doing for the race drone community, and I desperately need to find some time to at least try to. I want to do that. What'd you call it when you were just flying a line? What'd you call it?
Orbit.
Orbit. Yeah, with the Phantom? What you said it was locked?
Oh,
what was it?
Control line.
Control line. Okay, I want to do.
But that's like an actual thing. Like there was a thing before RC planes where you would actually have a string attached to the wing of a plane and you would spin in a circle. Okay. That's control line. So that's like what it was mimicking, but I call it an orbit. It's just like an orbit. Whatever,
I got you. Hey, when you're surfing the buildings, do you get permission from the building people at all, or you just go like, it's a cool building, we'll do that?
We just go and do it, and if security asks us, usually they're like, yo, you can't stand on the premises, but you stand on the street or the sidewalk, which is public property, and technically it's legal because you're within 400 feet of a building.
That's true.
And technically security doesn't say you can't do it. So there's a lot of technicalities and gray areas, but
you got to take advantage of those. Yeah.
I'm not advising people to do it.
Oh,
it's
no.
definitely more nerve-wracking than you think. You're like, oh, I'm going to dive a building. You go down there and your like heart's beating out of your chest because you're flying this thing that's not even. It just seems way more nerve-wracking in real life than it sounds.
Right, and if it lands on the roof, then so long.
Which I've seen multiple times, not me personally, but I've seen other people. They're just like, land on the roof. Okay.
Bye. Let's get out of here. Hope my fingerprints aren't on it. Awesome. Yep. All right, man. Well, again, thanks so much. Good luck with everything. There's links in the description to both Mr. Steele's YouTube page and his company. And
cool.
Have a good night, my friend.
Thank you. You too.
All right. See you
guys.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye. All right. So I'm here alone. It's scary. It's just me. Let's see. I'm going to try to call Dana. I see a lot of super chats going by. Thank you very much, everybody. I think what I'm going to do now is I'm going to call Kelly from Ready, Set, Drone. That's what I'm going to do. Because we have something really cool to tell you about. It's Spin Up. And he's standing by to talk. So we'll bring him in. Gotta love that. Is this Kelly?
Ken.
Hey, man.
How's it going?
Pretty good. There you are. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, man. I know I missed rehearsal, so I thought I maybe got cut.
Nah, man, you didn't get cut. I'll try to. Let me go ahead and try to bring Dana in really quick.
Oh yeah, yeah. I feel like I'm like getting to bat cleanup. You had a lot of people on tonight.
So many people. So many people. Show. It's been pretty awesome. Been a long show, informative show. I hope people are sticking around. Still gonna give the bag away, and in just a second we're gonna draw for where is it? Where is it? It's this thing right here. It's the Bugs 5W. Somebody's gonna.
I've got one of those. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. And the gimbal moves up and down, which is unusual for a
R2D2 kind of thing.
So while I'm trying to get Dana on, tell us a little bit about Spin Up and how we can get tickets to that.
So first of all, I saw a couple of signups come in during your show. So it's called the Ken Effect. It's awesome. I want to thank everybody who signed up so far and tell everybody that it's rounding out to be a really awesome program. I've got actually I'm going over to the Del Diamond. We've had rain all this week, and they're going to let me shoot a promo there in the Del Diamond. The guy who runs the place, who is booking us, has been so awesome. He's excited to meet everybody. But one other thing I wanted to encourage people on is I feel like if people are coming in from out of town, they can definitely, we should arrange for us to be able to share rooms, to be able to share rental cars, share rides, that kind of thing. It just makes a lot of sense. So I think it might make sense for everyone to just go onto Facebook. If you use Facebook, I don't use it that much, but there is a Ready Set Drone Facebook page, and that might be a great place for everybody to connect. I know that some of the folks that are coming, like Brad from Virginia, he was looking for someone to share a rental car with, etc. I mean, there's no point in renting multiple cars or taking multiple Ubers or whatever. Also, I've had a few people ask about RV camping. You can't park on the property, but there's two things that you can do with the RV and also Mel with your truck. Number one is there is an RV park right across the street from the Del Diamond that's at Old Settlers Park, which is awesome. And then also there's a Walmart within like a quarter mile of there, and you can park in the parking lot of the Walmart if you need to. So all of those kind of things, logistics are starting to form. I'm super excited. Of course, I think everybody knows that Ed Ricker's going to be there. Ken, of course, is going to be there, and Chris Rollins. So a lot of the people who are on the show tonight.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. You keep talking.
I'll just keep talking. So if people have questions about Spin Up, you can hit me, Kelly at Ready Set Drone, directly if you want to ask, or you can ask on the chat, but I can't talk and chat at the same time. We are going to do, I think Ed's actually going to do some FPV and freestyle flying in the stadium, and I'm trying to get him a hookup so that we can actually ride along with him. If not, I'm going to bring 5 or 6 pairs of goggles and we can pass them around or something like that. But that should be really fun. And then I just signed the work order with the AV company. We're going to have some really nice sound system, a big screen, and Dustin Dunhill. Do you know Dustin Dunhill, Ken?
I don't.
He's from Hawaii. He's a drone guy. His avatar is like a stormtrooper.
That
anyway.
guy. Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, so he actually just reached out to me and said, hey, I can't come, but I want to send a prize package and a video. Is that okay? So Dustin's going to be sending that. So yeah, lots of exciting stuff happening. Ken's going to be there. He's going to be one of our keynotes. I'm super excited to hear what he has to say. I did ask all my keynotes to start giving me some information about what they're going to talk about, so I can start publishing some of that. But some people haven't done it yet.
By the way, just want to let everybody know, I apologize for the audio. It's fixed now. It's fixed.
You sound great. You sound great.
Well, to you, yes, but on the stream, and we can't hear it when certain shots got louder.
Oh,
and it's something that I can't see until somebody
using a
tells me.
limiter to keep it all kind of together?
Sure.
Hey, and also I just want to say again, thanks to Mr. Graphic. I actually need to hang my my Ready Set Drone street sign up behind me because. And I have my Heron Way street sign. Mr. Graphic actually must have looked up Heron Way on Google Earth because he sent me a picture of it. It's around the block from my house, but it's like Heron Way and Heron Cove cross in one place. And some night, Ken and I are going to go over there and either take a picture or there's no need to even steal the street sign because he's got one.
Yeah.
And you're a boulevard. That's big time.
Yeah, yeah, I'm uptown. So hey,
Well-
I wanted to ask you.
Yes, please.
Where is your how many subscribers you have now? Million? How many?
112, I think.
About 112. Where's your plaque? Can we see the plaque?
Oh, so actually, funny thing. I didn't get any information. I was like, yeah, I heard it takes a little while. I ended up reaching out to YouTube, and they told me, oh yeah, you should have gotten a notice by now. Oh, you haven't gotten your notice by now. We'll look into that. So they looked into it, and I've been told it's been shipped, but I don't have it yet.
Okay, that's got to be pretty exciting, isn't it?
I will be sure to FaceTime you, or maybe go on live when I open it. I don't know. Let me see in the comments. Is it a douchey thing to do to open your plaque?
No, man. That's what we're all working for. But you know, channels that have 100, they're working for 1,000, or then they're working for 10,000. On, you know.
You think I should?
Yes, absolutely. We're all proud of you. We're all proud of you, man.
No, I appreciate that. I know. I'm just.
And we all want to be you secretly. I want to be you.
Well, Ken, the next best thing, you can hug me
anytime
you like.
Well, now, delay no longer. We've got to go ahead and give away more stuff.
Yes. And as we do that, Ken, I just want to say, I want to thank everyone on this chat right now who has already signed up for Spin Up. And if you haven't signed up for Spin Up, why not? Look at all the cool people that are going to be there. I'm just like mind blown that everyone on this chat. I should have 304 signups because there's 304 people watching right now. I don't care if you have to fly from Australia. I don't care if you have to walk from Nevada. Come to Spin Up.
It's going to be big. I'm going to be juggling flaming chainsaws. I mean, you don't want to miss out on it. All right. So it's been a while. So let's go ahead and try to give this thing away. Now, what I got to do is I got to share my screen, and the first thing you're going to see is this horrible mess that I've been dealing with. That's
pretty cool.
That's Wirecast.
Wow.
Yeah. So then I go over here, and you, for instance, saw my live stream. But now you're looking at the YouTube random comment picker thing. And
really? YouTube has that now. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, it's a commentpicker.com. So I've already put the URL. We're drawing, of course, for the Bugs 5W. And I'm going to go ahead and filter out duplicate users. Sorry, people that cut and pasted. Let's see. Everybody put in there.
So is it folks who commented on tonight's show?
No, it's the last live stream we did.
Oh, gotcha.
In the last Thursday Night Live, you were supposed to comment, "I want bugs in my house." So let's go ahead.
You know what's really funny is I actually had a bug just land on my screen, so maybe there's something to that.
A little bit of luck. So let's see who wins here as we go over and we draw for the winner of the Bugs Live. And the winner is...
Flying. Look at him flying.
Dustin L.
Dustin L.
Hey, Dustin L. Congratulations, my friend. You won
the...
Let me...
Or as they like to call him, Dust in the Wind.
Hey, look at me. That's what I look like when my camera overheats.
You're 1/60.
I am.
And you're auto TL. I love it.
Oh, now it's not even going to let me. Okay, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
All right.
That's when it overheats?
Yeah, it's overheating.
That's your Nikon?
Yeah, it's a Nikon D7500. It does that when it gets too hot. So I know.
You just need to put an ice pack on top of it. That's next time.
I know when the show's gone too long is when it starts reminding me. But anyway.
Or when you have to call Kelly when he's your last resort.
No, you're never my last resort. Congratulations, Dustin L, for this. And now, let's go ahead and...
We're giving away more junk.
Even more junk. The second contest for tonight is this lovely DJI carrying case for the Mavic 2.
Hey, and I'll tell you, Ken, actually, I have a few of those. I actually use those for carrying other things. I use them for carrying cameras. I use them for like a gym bag. I mean, they're actually pretty versatile. So
and you can fit about 4 beers in there.
Yeah.
All right. So the question is
a trivia question.
It's a trivia question, and the first person to get it in the comments will win. The question is, and if you know Kelly, please don't shout it out because you're not eligible.
Okay.
All right.
Well, you know me.
All right.
I like to shout things out.
You do. You're a shouter, but that's okay. The question is, what is the difference in takeoff weight from the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom in grams?
Oh, actually, I could probably make an educated guess, but I won't.
One is heavier than the other.
Yeah.
By how many grams? First correct answer.
Can I say which one I think is heavier?
Yeah.
I think the Pro's heavier.
Hmm.
Did everyone see Billy Kyle's video where he flew his Pro out over the ocean and never came back?
I talked to him.
Oh goodness.
And actually, Jack Bisson, who is in the comments, you'll see him talking in there. He lives up in Connecticut and tried to fetch Billy's drone for him by wading out.
Wow. This is just based on the video?
Yeah, I think we have a yes, I think we have a winner, by the way. Let me see.
All right. Was I wrong about which one's heavier?
Ooh, see now, Dennis Lynch, you were correct, but you didn't say grams. I said in grams. So congratulations to.
Did he do it in miles per hour?
No, he just said 2. Private Eye Aerial Imaging. 2 grams is the correct answer, and the Pro is heavier.
So are you like a math teacher where you have to put the units after, or you get the problem wrong?
Right. I did. The question was in grams, not in 2. So
yeah,
congratulations.
But maybe he assumed because you said in grams, you meant it already was in grams. Hey, it's your show, man.
Yeah.
The decision of the judge is final.
And that's me.
You've been waiting to use that.
Yes, I have.
That audio.
I have.
You're welcome.
And by the way, we're going to wrap this up here in a minute. I have the viewer video of the week that I'm going to share. But first, Kelly, I'm kind of glad you're here. I don't know if you heard about it, but DJI sent me something by accident.
Really?
Yes.
What was it?
Well, I ordered something from them, and they were supposed to send me something.
Okay.
Instead of sending me the thing, which is a lot cheaper than what they sent me, they sent me...
Really? A Mavic Pro?
A Mavic 2 Zoom.
Oh!
It's the Zoom.
For real? What did you order?
It was like a filter or something. But
Seriously?
but they sent me this. And
wow.
They have not asked for it back. So my question to everyone...
Have you flown it?
No. Well, there's more to the story.
Okay.
I got this, but it didn't come with a battery or a controller.
Wow.
So here's my question. Should I send it back and be honest, or should I buy a battery and a controller and keep it? Let me know what you think in the chat.
Yeah,
what do you think, Kelly?
You know, maybe that was intentional. Maybe they finally realized that Ken Heron's a force to be reckoned with in the drone world, but not enough of one to actually get a battery and a controller.
Right. If I had just 5,000 more subscribers, they would have given me a battery and a controller.
So I will tell you this: when I've gotten stuff from them before for review or whatever, the last time they gave we went to this event, they gave everyone their Mavic 2s at the event except for me. Like, we're gonna mail you yours. I was
right.
You mean there were like 6 of us there and they only had 5, so they're like, okay, you get one, 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 and Kelly will mail you yours. No, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Somebody in the chat just said yes. Somebody got a filter and is very upset.
Oh, I'll bet. Well, hold on. So Ken, actually, I can actually do you one better. I actually have a spare remote control.
Yeah, I didn't have any. I don't have any.
I have a spare Mavic remote control for the Mavic 2.
Yeah, I don't have any doubt that I could find the extra things. And in fact, I called Billy Kyle because I know he's got a spare controller lying around now.
He does.
But I think I'm going to go ahead and be honest because several reasons. One, karma, and two, as soon as I load that up and log in, they're going to be like, oh. When it calls home, it's gonna be like, oh, there it is, yeah, right there, and then I don't want DJI mad at me. But anyway.
No, that's always a good policy, and you know, ultimately that might lead to them just telling you to keep it. You know, then you feel good about it.
Ooh, now that would be cool.
I think you should just write them. I think you should write them a note, tell them what happened, and say, hey, you know, I'd love to keep this and promote it and use it, and you know, you'll get lots of eyeballs on it, but I'm happy to send it back if you really want it back. Yeah. That's what I would do. WWKD. What would Kelly do?
You know what? I had the viewer video of the week. I think I might have accidentally deleted it. Oh no.
Ruh-roh. Ruh-roh.
Oh no. I apologize.
Did you really delete it?
I think
or
I did.
Just took it out of Wirecast?
No, it wasn't in there. I'm gonna save this till next week because it's awesome.
So Ken, what are you gonna talk about at Spin Up? What's your topic of the day?
I'm gonna talk about how a live stream can get out of control.
I think it'd be really cool to actually set up some cameras and film the back, behind the scenes, and vlog the entire day before a show. I will tell you, folks, as someone who has worked with Ken a few times now, he does get a little worked up before shows.
I do get stressed. I do.
Yeah.
I do.
It's because you care.
I do care. And in lieu of the viewer video of the week, I will share this video. Are you a fan of Family Guy?
Sure.
And what's your favorite character?
What's the wife's name?
Lois?
No.
Lois?
Yes.
She's your favorite character?
Yeah, I love how she talks.
I would say probably 90% of the people love Stewie. I'm a Stewie fan.
Yeah, Stewie. Okay.
I got Stewie on my motorcycle. Stewie doesn't have a very good opinion of drones, so enjoy this. This is from the last Family Guy.
At last I shall exact my vengeance and snuff out the miserable flame that has been your life, vile woman.
Growing one carrot, taking up
Do you hear that voice? I love that voice.
Time to put you out of your misery.
Listen what he says about this.
What the deuce?
Sorry I broke your toy.
Toy? This is a drone. Grown men who have never had sexual relations fly them over people's houses to try and see something, I don't know.
How about that? Thanks, Stewie.
Yeah. Thanks, Stewie.
Yeah. All right, so
awesome.
that is about... Whoa! I forget every single time. I don't know why I forget, but I can't go without... Razzmatazz.
I'm going to sleep better tonight having seen that.
Let the razzmatazz wash over you and keep us all safe in the blue haze that is the razzmatazz. You are an odd man.
You as well, my friend. You as well.
Thank you, my friend. And now it's time to say goodbye.
We hope you enjoyed the show.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Half as much as you
Sign up for Spin Up.
if it had been twice as good.
Thank you to everybody. Chris Rones, Ed Ricker, Dana Williams, Kelly, and Mr. Steele. Kelly, once again, tell everybody about Spin Up very quickly.
www.dronespinup.com. We're going to have awesome people there, like everybody he just mentioned, except for Mr. Steele, although maybe he'll come too. And we're going to have lots of giveaways. We're going to have lots of fun. We're going to fly in a professional sports stadium with permission. Please come. www.dronespinup.com.
There's a link in the description. Until next week, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Buh.
And bye.
Yeah. Boy, I really need that video where it's like boom and then everything, and then that would have been really cool if I did that. But no, instead I gotta do the clicky. I gotta do that and then bring that back and then do the spinny. And then bye-bye. Love you. Mean it.
enjoy pigeon jerky. Pigeon jerky, the kettle processed meats. Enjoy pigeon jerky. Pigeon jerky, and you'll give your family a treat. Establish nutrition to help them grow, and it's full of fiber to make them grow. You'll enjoy pigeon jerky. Pigeon jerky, a kettle processed meats.
Yeah. That was so funny.